Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Monday, October 23rd, 2017 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I honor my process of transformation. It's funny, I actually wrote tomorrow's energy mantra first because it came up and I was like, no, this is for tomorrow, which is I acknowledge I acknowledge the transformation process of love building within me. But first we're getting into the transformation. The transformation working with the energy of Scorpio, which is transformation into the highest level of your personal empowerment. And wow, I think this is going to be quite an adventure with Sun in Scorpio. So the Sun shifted late last night, late Sunday night, actually early Sunday morning or early Monday morning, depending where you live. So we're just getting into the Scorpio energy. We're just beginning to broach this Scorpio energy. And I want to remind you that Mars also shifted signs yesterday. Mars went from Virgo into Libra. So we have both of these planets, the Sun and Mars, at 0 degrees. And 0 degrees is a transformational degree. We are adjusting to these energies. So if you feel a little bit off, if you feel a little bit wonky, chances are it is a bit connected to the energy. So I promised I'd get more into Scorpio. Let's dig in and wait till the end because at the end I'm going to go through sign by sign and just give a general overview of what your lessons are by Sun and rising sign for Sun in Scorpio. And this is also true for Jupiter in Scorpio. But, you know, lessons differentiate, vary for people based on where their Sun or rising signs are exactly and if they have any planets. So take it with a grain of salt, and if some other message in there resonates more with you, listen and honor to that. Listen and honor that, not to that. All right, so Sun in Scorpio. We already have Mercury and Jupiter moving through Scorpio. So we're already like getting familiar with this Scorpio vibration. And Scorpio does not have the greatest reputation in the Zodiac. There's 3 signs that I find are reluctant to tell me that they are the sign. I find that Scorpios, Geminis, and Aquariuses are the most reluctant to say, I'm this sign. And, you know, all of them can't, well, any sign has, you know, its ups and downs reputation-wise. I think Scorpio gets a bad rap. I love Scorpios. I love the Scorpio energy. I have really strong Scorpio energy in my chart. We all have Scorpio energy in our chart somewhere. You know, the chart is a circle, and so every part of the whole is represented in us some way. Not all of us have planets in the sign, so not all of us have that extra bit of oomph in there, but we all do have Scorpio energy, and thank Goddess for that because it is necessary. Scorpio goes where no other sign necessarily wants to go. Scorpio is willing to go into the depths. Scorpio is willing to dig in, investigate. It is willing to go there. Now, my theme for Scorpio is not necessarily about going there. Although that's not true, because it totally is about going there, but just going there in a different way. So, like I said, Scorpio is very capable of going into the depths, which can be represented by so many different topics, which we'll get into in just a little bit. But my theme for Scorpio is not so much getting into the muck and staying in the muck. It is going to be flying high like the eagle and seeing the muck, seeing the shadows, seeing whatever comes up from your detective work from a higher perspective. See the reasons for it. See the power that you have in and through this energy. See the love in it. Love, the most powerful force on this planet. If we want to be empowered, you have to be empowered through loving energy, or else chances are you're going to be stuck in the muck. So we're going to be looking like the eagle, like eagle energy, at these shadows, at these energies that come up to be looked at, investigated. And energies around power is a thing. So right now, sexuality is definitely highlighted in the world. And we're seeing a lot of people who manipulated their power around sexuality having to face this. It's very intense. But this is one of the things. This is a very Scorpio topic. And so what are we going to do with it? Well, I see a lot of people stepping into their power through it and being like, hey, these things have happened to me. And yet I'm not letting them dictate me. In fact, I let them make me a better person. but I still see there's some shaming going on. There's other darker shadow energies. Why is this happening? What is this? How do we fly high and look at these? This is Scorpio's ability to look at this. I always say Scorpio brings the capability for the darkest dark, but it also brings the capability of the lightest light. The lightest light, that love power, the power of love, which is what is going to pull us out of the muck each and every single time. But we have to work ourselves into it and get ourselves there and always be willing. Okay, what is my lesson in this? Instead of getting thrown into revenge or displaying our power in other various methods. Now, I want to remind you that Scorpio energy is the energy of transformation, transmutation. It is the energy of the phoenix, which is a constant state of death and rebirth. And so it is through these energies. Like if you believe something, if something comes up, okay, can I for a minute close my eyes to what it is that I feel that I believe about this, and be reborn to it and see it from this spiritual perspective and see how it is that I can move all these various paths, how it is that I can move in and through this energy. This is the power of Scorpio. Like I said, there's many ways to utilize this. My work is always showing you and guiding you, hopefully, into the highest and best way to utilize this energy, but it is going to ultimately be up to you how you use this. Scorpio is also a very deeply intuitive energy, but, with intuition comes a lot of different things, and part of the detective and the willingness to see the shadow, sometimes the intuition can also get intertwined with the energy of paranoia. So be very aware of that, and also be aware that a lot of times when we're in paranoia, we are in that energy of fear, and it kind of tugs on us, pulls us down out of our power. So it's important to see, okay, let me phoenix myself, let me see how I can shift this. Now I love, and I think this is going to make this transit very interesting. We have Jupiter in Scorpio, and Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius. Jupiter ultimately is a benevolent force. It is an explorer. It is a teacher. It wants us to learn. It wants us to find the highest path. It is a philosopher energy. So it's willing to discuss and dig in right along there with that Scorpio energy. Like, oh, I'm going to explore these things. Jupiter, I do think, is going to help us find the highest bridge, the highest path in and through these energies. But just realize that Jupiter is much like a quartz crystal, and it amplifies whatever energy you are already displaying. So if you find yourself getting sucked down in the muck, you may have to do a little shifting, a little phoenixing of yourself to bring yourself back into power before you can feel the benevolence and the gifts of Jupiter in and through this energy. I hope that makes sense. But, Jupiter, here's a little simpler. Jupiter can amplify the muck just as much as Jupiter can amplify the light. So be very aware of that, especially, as we will have various planets interacting with Jupiter in Scorpio. So, the transits today, beyond Sun in Scorpio. Moon in Sagittarius, also bringing a more optimistic energy, bringing that energy of the willingness to explore. Moon in Sagittarius is connecting to Venus and Neptune today, and Venus and Neptune are also connecting. All these energies are connecting at 11 degrees. 11 degrees is a mastery degree. 11 degrees is a mirroring degree. And 11 degrees is also a degree of healing. So, healing, mastery, and mirroring going on in and through these energies. The first connection is Moon in Sagittarius sextiling Venus. Venus is hanging out in Libra. So Venus in Libra is bringing us full-on yin energy. Venus in Libra is bringing us into beauty, into pleasure, hopefully helping us bring that love vibration along with all of the strong Scorpio energy that is going on as the moon connects to Venus. What I'm feeling with this is like holding that strong belief in the power of love, holding the strong belief in the power of your inner harmony, the power of knowing that you in harmony is a formidable force. That is the word, a very formidable force in the universe, find your own harmony. If you find yourself getting into the muck too much and you want to like be able to eagle it, okay, find this harmony within yourself. How do you come back into balance? How do you come back into that harmony? How do you self-care, self-love? You know, Libra is really loving the self, really honoring that relationship that you have with yourself. How do you self-love yourself back into a place of balance? That's going to be important. So the moon is then going to square Neptune, and Venus is going to inconjunct Neptune. And what I'm getting with this, again, 11 degrees, master degree, these tougher connections to me feels like there may be some karmic energies. Neptune is retrograde in Pisces. There may be some old karmic energies, some old cords that are coming up. These might challenge your optimism. They may challenge your beliefs. They also may challenge your balance. But I believe in you. You can hold this energy. Notice where the shadow is that is challenging you in this. Notice even if there is any echo of that shadow within you, and then see, okay, let me eagle this. What is my lesson in this? And how do I come into my power with this? How do I come into my majesty with this? How do I fly high with this? How do I move through this energy? And it will be individual, person to person. I do want to mention, too, that Neptune can sometimes bring up fogginess and confusion, but I do have today the inner voice card. So I believe that your intuition is going to be stronger than any of the confusion, any of the unknown that's coming out. If that happens, if that confusion pops up, I just don't know what to do with myself, slow down. Get present, be very present with your physical body, and trust that the answers are going to come through. And trust, I don't have to do anything until the answers come through. I can be still, I can be present in this moment, and trust and know that the answers are going to come. I do have some mental cards, though. I have the schizophrenia card, and I have the fighting card. The fighting card's in reverse. Don't go into fight mode. That could be Mars and Libra at 0 degrees, which is like, I will go to war. Remember the lessons that I said yesterday. There are times when you have to go in and lay that boundary and be prepared to do that if that is the thing. But you do not have to rush into war in this case. You need to sit and listen to how it is that you personally are meant to approach this energy. A little schizophrenia, you may go back and forth. If you're going back and forth, you haven't found the right solution. So like just scrap both of those for now. And again, be still and listen. I keep hearing, be still and know I am. Be still and know who you are in this. And step into your power. And then from that place of your flow, your soul flow, that's when you want to move. All right. I want to give you my card before I go through sign by sign. I love this card so much. So I'm using for Scorpio, the Sacred Power Reading Cards by Anna Stark. And I love this card. Devas is the card. Master your own energy and then take appropriate action. How perfect is that? Devas are highly evolved nature spirits that make their way across all realms. Every part of the world is alive with nature spirits. Devas are found in water, fire, trees, and crystals. These intelligent beings follow the law of karma, manipulating energy around our thoughts patterns to achieve specific results. Devas are masters of energy and encourage you now to master your own. Learn about your reactivity to issues and events. Gain greater insight into your being. What are you putting out to the universe? Ask the Devas for help with this task so you can move through life's changes with ease. And so you can move through any of these shadows with ease. And realize if there's any place where you, again, are mirroring any of these shadow energies. The Devas have made themselves known to you and encourage you to work with the energy of crystals to turn your thoughts and actions into positive processes. Working with the crystal Devas can align you with the vibrations suited towards the shift you are looking for or physically working on. Let's see. I like this. The crystal Deva of the clear quartz, which I happen to end up wearing today, is asking you to connect to the crystal kingdom. Clear quartz is a master healing crystal. It has the potential to work on any condition or illness. Known as the stone of power, it amplifies the energy and intentions around it. This crystal Deva supports its daily affirmation and mantras with positive energy. And the prayer for the Deva is, to the 7 great rishis, I ask you to liberate my soul's consciousness so I can live a life of peace, love, and happiness. Thank you. I love that card for today and for this message. Master your own energy. Get in touch with it within yourself and notice where your shadows are, but don't let those shadows take you down. Rather, work with them, shift them, transmute them, alchemize them, and realize that you have the power to do so. All right, so Sun and Scorpio, just a brief overview. Now remember, listen to your Sun and rising sign for these, but if another one resonates more, there could be reasons for it. I'm not going to go into all of that, but there could be reasons, and trust yourself if another message works for you. All right, so Scorpio is first house, and there is a quote that I love that I thought of with the first house for Scorpio. Scorpio, first house, with Sun in there for you, this is the energy of I am. So it's amplifying who you are, recognizing the power of Scorpio within yourself, also recognizing your power in connecting to the shadows and light. I think this quote is by E.E. Cummings, but I thought of it immediately, and it is, I am the darkness that is light and the stillness that is dancing. And I feel like that really incorporates and encapsulates the spirit of Scorpio. Can you honor these energies within yourself through this next month? And can you honor, the power you have in seeing beneath the surface, seeing any of the shadow energies, the detective energy that's within you, the knower. I think Scorpio just knows. It's just this deep sense, I sense the shadow. Honor that within yourself, but then also honor the power of transformation, honor the power of light, honor the power of love that is within you, that can shift any of these energies. Of course, it's never about shifting anybody else. It really is about shifting yourself and stepping more into your power. When you're working on somebody else, especially without their permission, that's manipulation. Good or bad intentions. There is manipulation in that. It's always about yourself and trusting, that if permission needs to be granted, then that will happen if you're meant to step in and help to empower somebody else. So just trust that process. Libra, Scorpio is your second house, which is the house of worth. It's house of worth, money, beauty. Scorpio is a very powerful sign to have in your second house. But sometimes there can be some shadows around it. And so this is, notice the money you're bringing in. Notice your friendships and how the people in your life are treating you, respecting you. If you don't like it, this may be time to notice the shadow and see, where am I carrying some lack, some sense of lack, some misunderstanding of your worth that can be transmuted, shifted at this time. If you are not happy with your financial situation, if you are not happy with your friends, if you're not happy with the beauty that you're surrounding yourself with, this is an opportunity to transform it. But you're not a victim. Notice it where this energy is carried within you and empower yourself to rise in and through this energy. Virgo, Scorpio is your third house. So the third house is communication. And Scorpio can definitely yield that sword of truth. I'm thinking of Nikki right now, who happens to have, she's a Virgo with a Scorpio moon, so she definitely can yield that sword. But communication, Virgo, this could be the month to yield that sword of truth. If there have been things that you have not said that need to be said, you may find yourself over the next weeks, months, or even year as Jupiter moves through, having more of the willingness to say these things that need to be said. Realize that communication is a really big part of how you display your power. And it's communication in so many ways. I mean, it's communication as in talking, but it's also communication through your art and creativity. It's communication to the universe through your journaling. This is a really strong time, next week's, month's, year, like I said, to get very in touch with the universe through your communication. And if you feel out of balance in your life, if you feel out of power in some place in your life, what I really do suggest is grabbing your handy dandy notebook. And what's that guy? Steve from Blue's Clues. Handy dandy notebook. Grab your notebook and start writing it out. I love this. This is my notebook for the Astro for this year, and it says Think in Magic. Yes, Virgo, yes. Write out your magic. Write yourself back into power. Communicate yourself to the universe back into power. There might be some outside communications that are needed. You may have to notice where there's some inner wonky communication that needs some shifting. What you're communicating to yourself is not really in alignment. There are some shadows there. Notice this and realign and heal these communication energies. All right, Leo, 4th house. So 4th house is home, family, feelings. Whew, Scorpio, 4th house. It's a little bit of an intense place to have your 4th house, although shadows and light. So you may, Leo, realize that there are some old wounds, some disempowering thoughts, feelings, energies that you are still holding on to from your very early life. Known or unknown, that's one of the hard things. You know, the 4th house to me, it is the house of foundation. But I imagine, I wish I had a birth chart sitting right here. I imagine the birth chart as kind of a tree, and the 4th house is the very bottom. And I imagine it as the roots, and those roots go further back than just this lifetime. It goes further back into the ancestry. It also goes further back into past life energy. So some of these things, some of these shadows may not even be from your early childhood. And I think that's one of the things that trips us up, because it's like, well, what are these things that are coming up? I don't have logical reasons for this. Well, maybe not from this life, and that's okay. Trust these feelings, trust these emotions, trust these energies that are coming up to be felt, because that's it. That's a healing power to feel your way through these energies. Trust them enough to feel your way through them, to heal your way through them, and to transmute these energies. Again, please utilize this eagle energy and fly high. Even visually imagine flying high above whatever this energy is that arises, and see it from the eagle's perspective. See the pathways out. See the pathways through. See the reasons why, so that you can re-empower yourself in and through this. This could be a very deep feeling month for you. And I wish you much love and luck with that. But you have the power, and Spirit really never gives us something that we cannot handle. So, Leo, I trust you. You can handle this. You've got this. All right, Cancer. Cancer, this is your 5th house. So 5th house is the house of creativity. It is the house of the inner child. You know, so it's a lot like what I said just from Leo. There may be some stuff from your childhood. This, to me, 5th house is more this childhood. It is not so much past life or ancestral stuff. So you may have some childhood stuff come up. Your way through this, Cancer, is going to be playing. So ask Eagle to, take your inner child to a playground. I'm picturing, never-ending story stuff going on here for you, Cancer. But play your way through any of the intensity that comes up. Play your way through. Express it through your creativity. There's so much power, and this is always for you, Cancer. There's so much power as you express what needs to be expressed through your creativity and by connecting to your heart. Cancer, you guys are masters at nurturing, not always the masters at nurturing yourselves. This is a call to nurture yourself, nurture your inner child through this next weeks, month, year. Please nurture yourself, and you will find your inner child will come alive and will glow and will grow and be empowered. And those things that you were kind of scared of and holding yourself back from, you won't be holding back anymore. All right. Try to keep moving through. There's a lot to go. Okay, Gemini. Gemini, this is your 6th house. 6th house is the house of health. It is the house of daily reality as well. So my feeling is that you Geminis and Gemini rising sign, you may experience some of the shadows either through health situations come up or through reflections in your daily reality. Again, do not let this take the power out of yourself. So if it is a health thing, well, we are so lucky to have so much good natural healing information. I personally love the medical medium. The medical medium has been like a miracle for my life. check him out. Check him out, Geminis. Read up, explore. We have so much that we can do to empower our health, to take care of our physical body. One of the things that you can do to empower yourself, Gemini, with this in the 6th house is listen deeper to the body. You know, using that Scorpio detective energy. Well, I will tell you, every cell, every organ, every chakra, every system in your body has a consciousness and has something that it would like to communicate with you. So tune in, be like, okay, liver, how you doing? Do you have anything you want to say to me? Oh, you're doing good, but you think that my gallbladder needs to have a conversation. Okay, tune in, listen to that. Trust yourself that you have that ability to do that. I tell you, your body wants to talk to you. When I did energy work, like, it was the bodies that wanted to talk so much. They had so much to say, and we just aren't taught that. So we don't tune in to the language until, like, there's a big hurt, and then we're like, I'm here, I'm listening, what can I do? And, you know, at that point, it's hard to listen because you're in pain. So listen now. Take initiative. Take ownership of that energy now and show up for your body. Show up for what it needs from you. And this could be a really great time to do a cleanse, you know, to do a cleanse. But like I said, also, this could pop up in your everyday life. Any situations for you, any shadowy situations. Again, fly high with the eagle. What is your role in this? How are you interacting in this? And how do you move gracefully, with as much grace as possible, into the highest reconciliation of this energy? All right, so Taurus, Scorpio is your 7th house. 7th house is the house of justice. It is the house of balance. It is the house of relationships. So, like I said with Gemini, Taurus, you may find some interesting mirrors, some interesting situations going on in your outside relationships. This could be love relationships, this can be coworker relationships, this can even be the relationship that you have with yourself. Taurus, you are always all about worth. So really notice through this transit, what is your relationship with yourself and how are you talking to yourself, about yourself, any of that. Because this can be a time where you can shift out of some of that negative self-talk and really learn to boost yourself up. However, if you're not realizing it in yourself, there is a chance that that may be mirrored outside of you. If that happens, be like, bless you, thank you for pointing out there is something within me that I can address in and through this energy because I would like to be empowered in and of myself. So, that for Taurus. Sorry, it's not longer, but I think that was concise and to the point. Aries, this is your 8th house. 8th house is the house of Scorpio. So Aries, this month, and here with Jupiter moving through Scorpio, is very much about you getting into what your true power is. And your true power is never about manipulation. It's never about running somebody over. It is always about you being in your integrity, in your highest and best. That is your word for the next weeks, month, year, Aries. Integrity. How do I stand in my power, in integrity? Let yourself keep coming back to that. My favorite quote, which is just popping into my head, be impeccable with your desire. You know, Scorpio is very in touch with desire energy. And, you know, desire can be like hunger. It can feel so overwhelming that it consumes us. Be impeccable with it so that you are standing in your light, standing in your power. And again, if you feel like you're getting consumed, take the eagle, fly up and see, okay, what is my path? How do I move through this? I can't corral. How do I corral this intense energy so that I can keep moving myself in a way that is impeccable and true to my soul energy, true to who I am. Aries, you are the sign of I am. So it's always about being true to who you are. So this is going to be a very powerful time for you. You may feel very powerful. Use it judiciously. Use it with integrity. We've seen a lot of fall from grace from people who have not been using their power in integrity. I don't think the world needs any more of this. So rise, Aries, rise to the occasion. Pisces, Pisces, this is your ninth house. Ninth house is the house of higher learning, exploration, broader perspectives. So this may be a really interesting time for you, Pisces. I have to tell you, I think I said this in yesterday's horoscope, but I will say it again. In facing some shadowy, harder things that I've been having to face, Spirit's like, no, it's an adventure. Have fun with it. Explore. Let me see if I can get the card to come up. Of course, I have to go through a million cards. I kept pulling, here it is. I kept pulling this card, the adventure card. And this for you, Pisces, oh, my screen went dark. Talking too long, 30 minutes. Pisces, this is your process through Scorpio. Not to be afraid. You know, we give so much power away to fear. And I feel like if we do, again, fly high, look from the eagle perspective, we will see that there's nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. It is time to get in on the adventure. It's time to see all the light that is within whatever these situations are coming up for you. Now, this will be over the course of a year with Jupiter moving through. The month will be very strong with Mercury and the Sun and, you know, later Venus coming in, Venus popping in to move through Scorpio as well, you know, but this next month, next year especially, you may be faced with these situations and Spirit's calling on you to rise and tell you, like, there are major lessons in this for you and you are going to step into your power. And I do believe for Pisces that this is going to be really good for you next year. Just saying, next year. But you have to learn these lessons now in order for you to be ready for this added responsibility that's coming for you next year. Okay, Aquarius, 10th house. 10th house is the house of purpose, the house of your career, the house of your legacy energy. And, you know, Aquarius, I think you're deeper than you are given credit for, honestly. And I think having Scorpio in your 10th house is a big reason why you're deeper than you're given credit for, and a big reason why you're able to connect in. What I'm getting for this, Aquarius, you know, through this next month, year, connect in. Don't just avoid it. I see so often with Aquarius energy that Aquarius energy is up here. And I always look to the glyphs of Aquarius, which is like the two wavy lines. And it's like a lot of Aquarians stay up here in this wavy line where we're thinking, we're brilliant, we're geniuses, and we're not quite bringing it in. We're not quite grounding it. My feeling is that Scorpio energy, Scorpio in your 10th house, root chakra, wants you to bring it into the second wavy line. Connect into the magic that you bring, Aquarius, and bring it into physicality. Make that your goal. Maybe look at the reasons why you have not brought it in to physical existence. What are some of those shadows? It's too hard. I don't know if people are really going to like it. I don't know if people really even like me. Any of those things, any of those shadows. Fly high, take the eagle, fly high. Notice those things and empower yourself because you have work to do, Aquarius. And I feel like this next year is going to be really potent and important for the work that you bring. But it has to be it has to be beyond your head. You can't just keep thinking it. Yes, please vibrate it too, but like get beyond the thinking, implement it, manifest it. Even if it's baby steps, take those baby steps and bring them in. We need you, Aquarius. Okay, Capricorn. Capricorn, this is your 11th house. Capricorn, as Scorpio in your 11th house, you are basically feeling and largely in charge of the collective vibrational energies. So, Capricorn, number one, first thing that I want to say is shadows and light. You know, 11th house tunes us into higher mind, spirit, collective consciousness. Be very aware of the energies that you are engaging with. Because, you know, boomerang effect. Absolutely. But also realize, Capricorn, that holding the 11th house through this next month and year, you are really holding the pace for the collective vibration. Now, I realize that may be a little bit challenging because Capricorn does have Pluto going through. So there's another, a double down on the shadows and light going on. Light is always the possibility. Love is always the possibility. That's always where you are going to be your strongest. Bring yourself back to there no matter how many times you find yourself in that boomerang state. But be very aware of it. What energies are you connecting into? And are these energies that you want in your life? Remembering the Devas thing. Master your own energy. Be impeccable with the energy, with your personal vibrations. This is going to be really important through this next year for you and for the collective consciousness. And I think that speaking as the collective consciousness, could use some light. So please, even when you fall into the realities, this is the world, or any of those other things, please see how much you can move yourself out, pull yourself out, and hold that beautiful, strong, light vibration of love that you are more than capable of. Sagittarius, 12th house. So, 12th house for the Sagittarius. I am Sagittarius, and Scorpio in the 12th house can be a pretty intense energy. I think it also can be one that leads us to being very in tune and very much connected to our intuition when we are willing to listen. My big message for you, though, Sagittarius, is the message of flow. Now, I know through Scorpio, every year, there is this strong energy of surrender. Sometimes Spirit knocks me on my back, and I'm like, I can't do anything. There could be that. And if you're getting knocked on your back, trust. There is a reason. It means that there's some, big shifts going on for you. I would also say take an echo of like what I said to Pisces and my personal card, which I put back in the middle of the deck, of course. The adventure, Don't be afraid to look at the shadows. Sagittarius loves to hold the light, the optimism. There's so much for you in the shadows. Remember the Sabian symbol from a few weeks ago, the coal miners coming up, bringing out the coal, and oh look, there's diamonds in the coal. There are diamonds in the shadows. If things are coming up for you to look at them, be in the flow. Attend to these energies. Look at these energies. Trust your knowledge. Trust your work that you can work with and rise like the eagle. Take the eagle with you. Rise to the occasion for any of these energies. Do not sweep them under the rug. Sagittarius, this next year is preparing you for Jupiter in your sign. Jupiter moving through your first house. So this is cleaning up old karma. No need to run from it. Realize your power. But like I said, take that eagle with you. But most importantly, be in the flow. You don't have to go looking for those shadows. Believe me, they will find you if you need to deal with them. But if they find you, you don't need to run. Show up, be in the flow. Honor the steps that you are guided to take with them. So that's a brief overview. You can always book a reading to dive deeper into your personal chart. Thanks for sitting with me. That was really long. I hope you have a beautiful day. Remember, there is enough love in the world for you, and I will see you tomorrow. Namaste.